Assalamu alaikum dear learners. Today we are in the class 12th and our topic is globalization, and today's topic would be the criticism or the analytical view against the globalization. As we have read in the previous topics that the globalization has its positive as well as the negative impacts on the society, but the scholars, the political scientists have, from one point, they have defended this globalization that it has lead the world towards the progress, and some of the political scientists or the leftists who believe that this globalization has created, there are so many points which can be cited as the against the globalization. Some of the critic points we will discuss today. The first point we will discuss, this is the thought of the leftists. The leftists oppose globalization, that it has created the inequalities between the rich and the poor. The rich is getting day by day richer and the poor is getting day by day the poorer. And likewise, this globalization has created, it is the main supporter of the capitalism. It has reduced so many, it has created the disparity between the developed nations and the developing nations. Likewise, this globalization has reduced the welfare measures like reduction in subsidies, reduction in fall of wage. Likewise, we can hear subsidies, essential commodities. These things has been reduced to a larger extent. So the scholars, the political scientists have this critical analysis that this globalization has reduced so many things. Likewise, here they once again cite the example of exploitation of developing states by the developed states. Least attention is being paid towards the poverty reduction, towards the human rights, towards the labor standards, as the labor who is working day in and day out for his livelihood, his health and hygienic conditions are not being considered, his working hours are not being considered, the labor is doing his lot of efforts, but he is paid meager wages for the substitution of his work. Likewise, here we can say that globalization has affected the cultures of the nations, as the Western values, the Western cultures, and the Western cultures and the Western values are seen that it has been, with this we can say this is a soft hegemony of the Western countries over the rest of the world. So the globalization can be opposed on this point too. Likewise, here we can say that it is leading to the protectionist regimes and economic imperialism through WTO, World Trade Organization, by developed countries or developing nations. The autocratic regimes, the imperialist regimes, the protectionist regimes get developed day by day in order to fulfill their motives, in order to fulfill their manifestos. Likewise, here we can say the World Social Forum, which is the largest forum of the world, the World Social Forum, it has resisted the globalization on the grounds of human rights, that the human rights are not being considered throughout the world. Likewise, they oppose the globalization, that the environmental degradation is not being considered. Likewise, it has generated the unemployment in the developing nations. So another point here we can cite that there is the sovereignty of the, so there is the reduction of the sovereignty of the states, as the states nowadays are witnessing, they are only the law and order maintaining agencies. They can only keep the records of their citizens, but cannot make them to be the part within the country. Most of the people go out of the country, the skilled labor go out of the country to earn more and more. As such, the state has demanded only an enforcing law and order enforcing agency. Another example of this global criticism we can cite here is that it has reduced the importance of social sciences, as the main focus is being laid on the market-oriented courses nowadays. The MBA courses, the tourism courses, other courses are being taught. There has been the devaluation of the social sciences nowadays. As such, we can say that this globalization is not being in favor of the poor, it's not in favor of the developing countries, it is not in favor of those who are at achieving, who are at. Likewise, we can say that some of the MNCs, the exploitation of developing states by the MNCs, these MNCs are doing their best, but they don't care for the states. Simply, they don't care for the interests of the states. So these are the critical points we can cite against the globalization. Whenever you will be asked in the examination, you can cite all these points in your support to the criticism of the globalization. With these words, I would like to conclude and would like to see you in the next chapter, inshallah, in the next video. Till then, good night. Have a good day.